Today, we have a special guest, and we're going to talk about a big news story that will impact the silver price and gold price going forward. The Federal Reserve recently launched their Fed Now program. Also, we're going to talk about the Federal Reserve and the big interest rate decision coming out next week. And we're going to do that with the world famous coin shop, Chris. He's got a lot to say about both these subjects. Chris, welcome back to Ron's Basement.
Ron, it's always good to be back in the basement. Before we get started, Ron, I gotta let everybody know, please tap the like button, share, and subscribe. Let's get this information out.
That's right. And if you don't tap the like button now, if later on in the video you like what you hear, tap the like button. Chris, just yesterday, our old friend Jerome Powell at the United States Federal Reserve launched the Fed Now program, this electronic infrastructure that's going to allow banks and individuals to instantly transfer money. Any thoughts on that whole subject? Any observations from your perspective?
From what I'm understanding, Ron, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's right now it's just bank to bank. This is not the CBDC everybody's thinking it's going to be right now. I don't think that's going to come out for another year or so. This is not good. This is why we need to stack silver, gold, and platinum, because they're going to take your privacy away. Everything you buy, they're going to track it. And if you have health issues or you buy too much ammo, or they think they're not going to let you have it. This is the scariest thing to me, what's coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, and but Chris, all the mainstream media articles, I've got one from the Associated Press, one from Reuters, one from Yahoo Finance. It talks about how great this new Fed Now program is. It's going to allow instant payments. You'll get your paycheck instantly. You won't have to go to, one of the Fed governors, I think her name was Loretta Mester, she said people won't have to go to payday loan stores anymore. Like, this is being painted as this great new thing. However, what it really is, or what it really could be, is the infrastructure, the plumbing being put in place for the launch of a CBDC. God forbid if we have another crisis that would require the government, stepping in and distributing, freshly created money to people. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I just want people to realize, Ron, you like your Oreo cookies from all these, and so don't I. I'm not gonna make fun of you there with that one. But if you eat 2 or 3 packages a week and then you decide you want 4 packages a week, they're not going to let you buy it. And to top it off, how's this going to work when the internet down? People are so used to having their cell phones on them. I mean, really, can we really live 3 or 4 days, a week, a month, 6 months without no internet? This country will be shut down. Everything we do is on the internet. Never mind the power going out. I'm just talking about the internet going out.
Right.
People really need to wake up and think what I'm saying. If we lose the internet for 3 or 4, 5, 6 days, most of us would probably go nuts, because we couldn't even watch you, Ron, you couldn't be doing what you're doing.
I would go nuttier than I already am.
Well, you said it, so.
Another thing nobody's talking about, I want to talk about this the Fed Now program, is like people saying, oh yeah, now like if the Fed, if they needed to just put money into your account, they could just put money into your account, right? Well, guess what? There's another side to that coin as well. If they wanted to take money out of your account, in theory, right? Because we've heard like bank bail-ins mentioned in the past, they could just take money out of your account as well, right? The other thing I want to bring up is, as we talk about silver and gold, I get this question all the time: Ron, are we going to be able to buy silver and gold when we have CBDCs? And, we don't know the answer to that question for sure, right? But a lot of people think that that's one thing that they could restrict your ability to buy, right? If Coin Shop Chris, we don't have cash anymore. All you have is your CBDC account, and you want to buy some silver coins on eBay, and you go to buy it, that they could say, no, we aren't approving that transaction. I mean, that the government potentially could achieve a much higher level of control on where and how you, Coin Shop Chris, spend your money.
Well, Ron, that's happening now. People are going in these banks now and they're asking for $2,000-3,000 in cash, which is really not a lot of money this day and age. You know, and they're asking people what they're going to do with their money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's none of the bank's business what you do with your money. It's, you know, it's your money. Well, it's fiat currency. It's not money. Let me correct myself. But you know, you don't have to tell the bank anything. And once the bank hears you're going to go buy silver, gold, or platinum with it, they can say, we're not giving you nothing.
Right. Yeah. Well, the banks, the banks are in trouble. Sorry to interrupt you.
The banks are in trouble. You know, the states have passed legislation to accept gold, silver for payment. Now, people are worried about confiscation. I don't think that's going to happen either with gold. It never happened with silver here, but I don't think they're going to do that with gold. The way they're going to do that is more and more states are going to come on board. If the S hits the fan, Ron, and we got to start using our gold, silver, platinum in trade or business-wise transactions, whatever you want to call it, that is how they're going to confiscate it from us.
Did you just say if my ass hits the fan?
No, I said S.
Oh, I thought you said my ass. My bottom side started hurting there for a second. So I think one of the key things that our viewers might want to take away from this is if you are concerned that you may not be able to buy precious metals when CBDCs come along, well, maybe now's a good time to start buying. And we're not giving financial advice or anything like that, but maybe, you know, if it's a concern of yours, maybe now's a good time to start buying. Now, when the Fed...
Wait, Ron. We're not buying nothing. We're converting. Man. We're converting, Ron.
Converting. That's right. You're converting paper into metal. Thank you for that correction, Chris.
You know, you brought up a point. Are we going to be able to convert when this CDBC comes around? We don't know that.
Right.
That we don't know. I can't give an answer to that either.
No.
I would say at this point, I would say yes, but I can't guarantee that.
Right. Right. No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, if you're concerned, now might be the good time to do it. You know, here's I'm going to tell a little quick story, Chris. Okay. Sure. Let's say you're sitting in your house, okay, or the viewer sitting in their house, and you hear some ruckus outside, and you look out the window, and there's like 4 big work trucks and a backhoe, and they're starting to dig up your yard. So you go out there and say, "What are you guys doing?" Right? And they say, "Well, we're putting in the new water lines. We're replacing all the water supply lines for this neighborhood." And you say, "Well, I'm not hooked up to city water. I have a well, right?" And they say, "Well, it doesn't matter. We're still putting it in here, and you know, we have eminent domain, tough whatever." That's what I see this FedNow program potentially as being, right? Like the Fed saying they're putting the plumbing in place, right? And they're saying you don't have to hook up to this right now. But just like the water company could say, well, you know, at some point we're going to make it illegal for you to have your own well, that you have to hook onto the city water. Because I believe that where I live here in St. Louis County, I'm not allowed to have a well. I have to be hooked onto the city water. And that's what they'll be able to do when they decide if and when they decide to roll out these CBDCs and say, you have to, you know, here's the plumbing system, you need to hook into it. if you want to go to Aldi and shop, or if you want to go to Walmart and shop, you need to be on this system. Am I crazy for thinking that way?
Absolutely not. And another thing that scares me on this is you're not going to be, from what I'm read so far, you're not going to be able to save anything. You're going to have a countdown clock on the funds you have. Let's call them funds.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to have a certain amount of time you're going to spend. You're going to either spend it somewhere, or they're going to take so much percentage away, 2-3%. Then you have another countdown clock. They're going to take off another 2 or 3%.
All right. That's interesting. I think that's what my daughters have every time they get any money.
You know, I mean, but that's the scary
Yeah.
thing is we're not going to be we're going to be slaves for the rest of our life if this really goes through. And
All right.
on the flip side of that, like the state of Florida, Ron DeSantis,
Mhm. I like his
you know,
name.
he is trying to ban this. Okay, well, what happens if the state of Florida has a hurricane and they need Fed money? How is the state of Florida going to accept that Fed money when it's all Fed coin? Don't know.
Yep. Yep. Interesting. Well, now since we're already talking about the Fed, and I know you're one of your favorite people in the whole wide world, right? I know you've got your little Jerome Powell doll that you keep there. Next week, we're going to hear from the Fed. Big news for the precious metals market next week, right? On Wednesday afternoon, we're going to get the Fed interest rate monetary policy decision. It seems like everyone's expecting a 1/4 point rate hike. We're going to be watching what they do. Unfortunately, we're going to be forced to listen to what they say as well. I think that if it comes through what everybody's expecting, a 1/4 point rate hike, and kind of some middle of the road language, I think we'll be okay with precious metals. I think we might even do a little well. But what are your thoughts on the situation, Chris?
Well, I've been saying for a while, Ron, and I'm going to change my viewpoint tonight on that one. We have never had a pause than a rate hike in history.
Mhm.
I think we're going to see one more rate hike, 0.25%. Then I believe we're going to see more trouble in the banks, and that's going to be that's going to drive silver, gold, platinum up higher. How much higher? I don't know. I'm not going to put a number on it.
Yeah, I agree with you, because there's big lag effects on the previous rate hikes. They haven't even their potency hasn't even hit the economy yet. I think by September, we're going to see the economy really slowing down and things are going to get nasty. Now, Janet Yellen, she claims that we're not going to have a recession. But, Janet Yellen, if you believe her, you might as well believe in the tooth fairy and Santa Claus, because that's the same Janet Yellen that told us we weren't going to have inflation. And gosh knows the number of fibs she told us when she was the head of the Federal Reserve. Feels like to me, you mentioned this earlier about Florida and hurricanes. It feels like to me we're in the eye of the hurricane right now. And as we move into the end of the year, we're going to have some rough times. And, at that point, it's going to become real obvious to everybody that the Fed's going to have to, change their tune, and that we could see the silver and gold price really take off. I mean, it's not so bad right now, right? 1960 gold, almost $25 for silver.
Exactly. I mean, we're at 24. Last time I looked, it was 20. I think it closed at 24.86.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we fell back a little bit. I think that's a healthy pullback, because we kind of went up kind of fast. But everybody keep in mind, the second half of the hurricane is always the worst.
I didn't know that. Thank you, Chris. Man, you are a
Um,
wealth of knowledge.
I really think this fall, if everybody goes back and who has not watched the movie Too Big to Fail on Amazon, the one with the government paycheck, the U.S. paycheck, that really will give a lot of people some insight of the time frame of the 2008 crash, and we're on the same timeline. look at the bricks gonna announce on August 22nd. I am thinking mid-September, we're gonna see a whole different world.
We're going to be hunkered down here in the basement. Another interesting point to bring up is the yield curve is inverted like never before. And when the yield curve inverts, that's a surefire sign that we're headed for a recession. The difference between a 3-month treasury and a 10-year treasury has not been this extreme since 1980. And again, an inverted yield curve is a telltale sign, right? It's like when the sky gets real black and cloudy that it's going to storm. That's what an inverted yield curve is. And when it's as extreme as we have right now, it means trouble's coming. And we know high net worth individuals are moving money into precious metals. I think the future looks bright for us. Chris, thank you once again for joining us here in the basement.
Thank you, Ron. I just got one more comment that you just said, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind, Chris. I don't know if the viewers mind, but I guess if they mind, they can go watch Roadrunner, like you like to tell them.
That's right. Well, no, just the trolls, Ron. You know, but China is dumping all these treasury notes, but the American people seem to be buying them up right now. That's not a good sign either.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust a CD right now. I would not get a treasury note right now. I would stay away from bonds. It's not financial advice. I'm just not in that market right now.
And don't eat too many Oreo cookies. We know that Yellen went on a trip to China, and it's pretty much general consensus that what she was doing when she was there was begging them to buy U.S. treasuries. And it's pretty much general consensus that they told her to, I'm trying to think, get lost. I'll say it that way. And we did see the treasury yield spike when she came home. So we're heading in some interesting times. That's why, those of us who choose to protect our wealth, protect our families with precious metals, we could be in a situation here in the coming months where we're glad we did that. Who knows? We don't have crystal balls, you or I, Chris, right? But I heard somebody say earlier, if you've got a crystal ball, you better get used to eating glass.
Exactly. And China should have sent Janet Yellen home on a tuna boat.
Right. Thank you, Chris. We'll see you soon.
All right. We will talk to you soon, buddy.